running up the score.
Jerry Napoleonello.
The Cowboys made 2 mistakes in the last 3 years. One was letting Dak take over for Romo and not having Romo come back in. And 2 was releasing Des Bryant.
Superstition, screw that. Let's pick this bad boy up and walk it around the ice.
Kevin Donlin.
The NFL, like every league, is a business. And in a business, you have a job. And let me tell you something. You always have a boss. No matter who you are, you have a boss when you're in the organization. The New York Jets, you know what they need to do with their second round pick? They need to just start taking it and lighting it up on fire.
This is Running Up the Score, your one-stop spot for all things sports. Join in on the conversation by calling in at 605-562-7085. Now here's your hosts, Jerry Napoleonello and Kevin Donlin.
All right, we're back. AFC. We're going to get right into it with the preview. If you haven't checked out our NFC preview, go check it out. YouTube, Jerry Naps, or just type in Running Up the Score, RUTS Sports, however you want to do it. Or you could just go to our Twitter at RUTS Sports. You'll find it there.
Running Up the Score presents NFL Preview, AFC East.
AFC East, we'll start off. Jets, Dolphins, Pats, and Bills. This division is going to be a lot closer than it usually is, to be totally honest with you.
I agree.
Listen,
and I think it's going to be 3 teams. I don't think it's just going to be
no. Yeah,
I'm everyone's expecting.
I'm with that. Kev, I actually, I'm walking into this show, really liking your team.
Yeah, I do like him. I like him.
Being totally honest with you.
No, I agree. I like the whole design. I think Sam Darnold's going to make a whole new impact.
Big strides this year.
Yeah, 100%. There's no doubt about it. The kid's been doing nothing but working and studying. And, obviously Adam Gase, literally his advice, and I read this report the other day, he said play like Peyton. And I love that because Peyton Manning was one of my favorite quarterbacks. I mean, if you ever watched one of our earlier shows when we first started doing this years ago, I was a huge fan of Peyton Manning. I still think that he's one of the best players I've ever seen play the game. I think he's the best quarterback I've ever seen. I know a lot of people disagree with it. Again, other players could have been better. I mean, I never got a chance to watch, John Elway as much, and I didn't get to watch Steve Young and all these greats and Tom Brady. Everyone talks about that debate. Peyton Manning, for what I saw at the line of scrimmage for that man for 15 straight years, it wasn't normal. And, obviously as a Jet fan, our defense was good for years. And, playing that man was always our defense. It just seems like it didn't matter who we had on the defensive side. We had one of the best cornerbacks in football, arguably a Hall of Famer type quarterback.
Listen, there was nothing better than watching Peyton Manning line up.
And I just want to watch Sam Darnold do this for the New York Jets. If I saw it, I'd be a very comfortable fan. I would have no problem. It would be fun to be a New York Jet fan for the next 15 years barring this kid can stay healthy. I don't know. I want to start from the bottom like I've been doing, and obviously, no doubt in my mind, folks, it's the Miami Dolphins. They're going to be one of the worst teams in football. They're in comparison with the Washington Redskins area, lottery. That's what they're playing for right now. They got a couple of great young guys, but they got Fitzpatrick starting the regular season for them. Josh Rosen coming after. I don't see an upgrade on either side all off season. They're slam dunking the bottom. I'm going to go with the Bills. But when I say the Bills coming in third here, I'm talking at a minimum of 8 games won, and potentially could be more. I think the Bills are actually well-designed. No one understands how good their defense actually is. It's very good. It's one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
People don't know that, but it's 100% the truth. The Bills are not going to be an easy win for the New York Jets. If they, every year as a Jet fan, you always feel comfortable playing the Bills and the Miami Dolphins. It's been like that for a very long time. It's a lot different this season. The Bills are going to get themselves in third place, and it could be better. Again, I do not know. They could beat my Jets for all I know and outbeat them in this division. That's how good I view them right now. Obviously, New England's going to be in that mix as well, and obviously as a Jet fan, I'm going to go with the New York Jets to win the division. I think they dethrone.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they're going to dethrone them. Honestly, I think the Jets have a lot of good pieces on the defensive side of the ball. I think they'll be able to get to the quarterback. I think their secondary is probably one of the worst. But again, it's not nothing. It's not like saying we have any slouches. Jamal Adams is arguably one of the best safeties in football. Our corners are god awful. We just got what's his name back practicing now. So Tremaine Johnson, obviously that could be somewhat of an upgrade. But again, it all comes down to that pass rush. We've talked about this on the show many times. The trenches is where it's at, and you put Jadeveon Clowney on this team, it'd be a whole different story. But
well,
again,
actually, I wanted to bring it up when we started talking about them. A report just came out that he is very adamant about not playing for the Dolphins. So that's basically wiping out one team.
Well, again, the Chargers could be a potential threat, with everything going on with Melvin Gordon. But I think the Chargers absolutely love Gordon. I don't think they have any intention of getting rid of him. No. They know how valuable it is, or they wouldn't have never offered him $10 million.
Yeah.
Obviously they didn't offer him how much he wants. But again, we'll go into that in a little bit. But for me, the New England Patriots are going to be New England. They're potentially a chance to win this division as well. I think between three teams, it's anyone's division. Just me being a fan of the New York Jets and. I'm hoping for strides out of Sam Darnold, and I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to get. I think he could put us over the hump and get us this division finally.
Yeah, I like the Pats to win this division. I think it's gonna be close though. I
really
like
do
I
too.
said, I like the Jets a lot. The Jets are a team that I'm excited for. For some reason, Jets fans have some issue with the Cowboys, but I don't know what it is.
No.
Like
I do it just to mess with you.
Yeah, I know. I'm
100%. I have no hatred for the Cowboys. Cowboys can win a Super Bowl this year, but I'll tell you right now, I'm not trying to be a hater when I say this. I've told you this forever. I don't see them ever winning another Super Bowl because they made probably one of the worst mistakes I've ever seen, and I'm not a fan of Jerry Jones. It was the worst mistake. You should have put Tony Romo in.
Yeah, I know. I like the Jets a lot, and I said it when they drafted Sam Darnold, that they gave themselves 15 years of success compared to what the Giants did in bringing in Saquon Barkley for just some flash. I think the Jets are coming on the upswing at the perfect time. Brady's obviously not going to be playing the rest of his life. So I see maybe 2 more years out of Tom Brady.
I still think that, obviously they have a chance. They do have 100%.
They have a chance this year. Absolutely. They have a chance this year, but I think just with the Patriots, Bill Belichick,
of course,
Tom Brady,
that doesn't go away.
It just, and to be honest with you heard it here first, folks, Rob Gronkowski will be back. Guaranteed. I'm telling you that right now. Patriots will have Rob Gronkowski at least by week 6 or week 8. I'm telling you that right now. I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. There's no way he's staying away from football. There's no way that he's going to stay away from maybe winning another Super Bowl. I just feel like he gets to skip the preseason. He gets to skip the training camps. He gets to skip the first 6 games. And then you know what? Hey, now I'm back. I'm feeling great. He said he's in the best shape of his life. I have a feeling that Rob Gronkowski will be back. I think the Patriots overall, they're still going to be there. They're
course.
Still going to be
there's
there.
no Gronk, but there's Josh Gordon.
Yeah,
and he takes the place of that real quick.
I
don't think they're going to skip a beat.
And I am such a big fan of Josh Gordon. I like that dude has so much talent. It's not even funny. The thing is, he's only shown us a glimpse of it.
Yep.
And he has so much talent. If he could just get his head straight and stick with this now, he's on the perfect team to keep it going. So I like if they get a full season of Josh Gordon, that's huge.
It replaces Gronk. And
Absolutely.
It's very simple.
And
I understand where you're coming at with the Patriots winning the division. They've been the division winners every year for the longest time. It's so understandable. I'm going out on a flyer here. My fan. No,
absolutely. Listen,
is taking over here. It's very simple. I'll be very, but I told you, I'm going right down to the point with this. And again, I have very high hopes.
AFC South.
We'll move on.
Sam Darnold, what he can do
to the AFC South. We were just talking about Clowney. It's an interesting thing going on with Houston right now. But the biggest talk of the offseason and preseason, everything like that, was last week with the one team in this division. The one team in this division that said that, we looked at it. You could look at it on paper and you could say, wow, this team could actually compete, pretty deep into the playoffs as long as he stays healthy. That's Andrew Luck. And the fact that he just comes out all of a sudden and just retires at the age of 29 was crazy.
It's unfortunate. Again, I wish we had more time to go into this into full detail, but I am 100% supportive of Andrew Luck. I think
so am I.
I'm a huge fan of him. I was a fan of him every year he played. I understand where he's coming at. 4 years of rehabbing is not pleasant. You talk to anyone that's ever gone through rehab, and I'm not one of them. I've never had to go through rehab, knock on wood, but I know it's one of the most painful experiences. Obviously, you're trying to build strength back into something that you had obviously, broken or, fractured, whatever.
Destroyed.
Basically, hurt at any point. And I know it's very painful, and it's a horrible process to go through. And, to do it for 4 years straight on, basically 4 different things that he had going on with him, his shoulder, and, he had concussion problems. He just went through a lot.
Torn labrum in his shoulder. He had a lacerated kidney. Never heard of that before. Lacerated kidney. And now he's got something with his ankle or his calf. They don't even know where it is. They don't even know what it is. It got to the point where he was just like, you start to get like mentally tired, and that's where he's at, And
I would love to see Andrew Luck not escape the game. I definitely want to see him out there. I want to see him. I would love to see him on television talking about football. I mean, it's not. It's not over for Andrew Luck.
We have the XFL coming up, and obviously they were just in the news because of they released the team names and the logos. So that's exciting for the XFL. I'm excited for the XFL. I really want to see how this works out. But Andrew Luck's father is like the CEO or somewhere close to the top with Vince McMahon in the XFL. So who knows? You might see him either owning a team or being somewhere in the mix in the XFL, or just ends up in the front office of the Indianapolis Colts. Which, I mean, we really have to be serious. I don't care.
I'll see him on Channel 5,
or that,
doing previews for the NFL football games.
He's a Stanford
We can go into
graduate.
it forever. We can go into whatever. He's a great player. It's unfortunate he had to retire. He's a very smart player. But, speaking of the Colts,
it's going to be a weak division.
It is going to be a very weak division. I really see the Jaguars winning with 9 games. I don't see any team in this division being intimidating by any means. The Jaguars are the best and most complete team out of any team on this division.
They're done with their crutch, I guess, or their downfall, and it was always Blake Bortles. They just added Nick Foles.
Yeah, it's a different. It could be a different mindset altogether.
Yeah,
here, D.B. Westbrook's probably one of the best route runners I've ever seen. And again, another fantasy sleeper there. A lot of people starting to like him. He's starting to trend on a lot of boards.
Yeah.
But I think the Jaguars win the division. I'm putting the Colts at the dead last. Brissett's going to show me something. Everyone's talking Brissett's not the worst player.
No, he's not.
He's got to show me something. And, he's not going to have a lot of help with that Colt defense. It's better, the Colts defense. And maybe it could be arguing. You can argue that the Titans are going to finish in dead last, and the Colts will probably be third. And then obviously I'm going to go with the Texans. I think the Texans' offensive line struggles have gotten worse than they did last year. I didn't think that was possible. Yeah. Unfortunately, it is. It's very possible, and it's going to slow them down. Deshaun Watson again. He's like a Russell Wilson. He's going to get them wins, but I don't know if he'll be able to get them over the hump. The Texans got a shot at this division, but it's going to take some luck. They're going to need. Speaking of Angela, they're going to need some luck and things to go their way, a couple of bounces, and they have a possibility at it. But right now, I'm going to slam dunk, go with the Jags. Again, not saying that they're going to win 15 games or 14, 13. They're probably going to win 9 games, and both these teams might win 9 games. Again, this division is arguably one of the weakest divisions. If you're playing this division and
I think it's the weakest.
It is. I honestly, because we're going right to the West, and then you see teams like Kansas City and the Chargers, and that's at like a different level than all 4 of those teams. But we're going to move right on to the West.
AFC West.
And going from the West, honestly, the Oakland Raiders. I want to see them do good. I really do. I want to see John Gruden, be successful. But unfortunately, they just don't have enough. Antonio Brown is a great talent, a great addition. I don't know a single thing about this guy, Josh Jacobs. Everyone's talking really highly of him. The offensive line will be mediocre at best. Derek Carr's got to start getting the ball downfield. He hasn't, he's a smart player, and he has been there before.
He's a good quarterback.
He's an experienced player, and that comes a long way. But I don't know if this defense will be able to keep up. I don't know anybody on this defense. It's the same thing as the New York Giants. I can't name anybody on this defense. They're gonna have a hard time stopping people, and it's just not a good matchup at all. I mean, Denver, I'm gonna go with next, right? I mean, I think we can both agree on that.
I like Oakland in third.
Yeah, you like Denver last?
Yeah.
I just think Joe Flacco's got experience. I think that there's no doubt in my mind the Denver defense is arguably one of the best.
Yeah.
I think their pass rush will be efficient enough to get them more wins than the Oakland Raiders. That's really the only difference I got going between those two teams. And obviously this division's coming down to two teams, most likely both playoff teams, and that's the Chargers and the
Kansas
City
it's
Chiefs.
Easy to say Kansas City's going to win this division.
Yeah, I think Kansas City, again, you guys know what I think of Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to think that. I mean, I'm a Jet fan. Sam Darnold, he's young. I want to see Sam Darnold be the best quarterback in football, but unfortunately, I think we're all looking at it right now in Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes is incredible. And barring any injury to that man, it looks like there's going to be no stopping him yet again this year. I mean, even the New England Patriots, let's be honest, folks, you give the Kansas City Chiefs the football the first in that overtime, they're probably winning the game. No team was stopping either team in that game. That was one of the best games, probably one of the best days of football I've ever seen in my life between the Saints game and the Patriots game. Those games were incredible, back and forth the whole way. But I think Kansas City wins this division. It's not saying San Diego's no slouch. I think San Diego wins double-digit point wins this year.
LA.
Did I say San Diego?
Yeah, you did say.
I don't care. That'll never go away.
San Diego twice.
Good. I'll never stop saying it.
Well, I think Kansas City's going to win this division, but the most interesting division that I have to say is coming up, and it's the AFC North.
AFC North.
And the reason why I'm interested, mainly because of one team, and that's Cleveland. I'm very interested to watch this team with Baker Mayfield, who's a stud. I mean, the guy really is. He is not even close to Johnny Manziel. For anybody that said that, to compare him to Johnny Manziel is an insult. This guy, Baker Mayfield, he's all about it. And he throws dimes. It's just going to be interesting to see how this works out. Okay, so now you have Odell, you have Jarvis Landry, both known to be, they like to talk. Basically, if things aren't going their way, they like to talk. So it's going to be interesting how that works. Nick Chubb, really good running back. Then they have Kareem Hunt, who's going to come back after his little suspension or whatever it is. This team, if they're just say, what is it, 8 games or 10 for Kareem Hunt?
It's 8.
It's 8. All right, so
then they have a week 9 bye, so he comes back week 10.
So say now he comes back week 10. Say now they're in the mix here. Say 5-3, going into week 10, or they would be 5-3. 5-3 going into week 10, and then you add a guy like Kareem Hunt, who obviously we all know.
Well, we talk about
on the
Kareem.
field.
We talk about Kareem Hunt, but the problem is that Kareem Hunt has got to be away from this team the entire suspension.
Yeah,
which is horrible. You do not want to be. He's not going to make an impact off the start. I mean, all goes to fantasy purposes too. Nick Chubb is also another huge fan. Right here, I'm a big fan. I'm on the Nick Chubb train.
So am I.
And it's on the basis that, like we talked about, Kareem Hunt will definitely make an impact. And you know what? It might not be week 10 or week 11, but it'll certainly be come time like week 12, 13, he gets into the flow. But the fact that he's not practicing with this team, I love Cleveland this year. But I'm not liking Cleveland on the offensive side. I'm honestly loving their defensive side of the ball.
I love Denzel Ward.
I think their whole defense is going to be incredible. I think their pass rush between
obviously Myles Garrett.
Oh my God, he's
a beast.
I watched him against the Jets last year, and he's not a fun person to play against at all. And
he's starting to get to I mean, he's not even close yet, but he's starting to get into that Aaron Donald, like, freakish
of course, absolutely.
type
There's no doubt.
Player.
That's why I like Cleveland to win this division. Everyone's talking about, Odell and Mayfield, and they're going to sling it all
Their
day.
pass rush is really
Their
good.
offensive line is one of the worst offensive lines in
Yeah, it
football.
is.
Bitonio, I think his name is. He's very good, and he'll create a couple of holes, but their tackles are both question marks.
Yeah.
Their center, I don't know who he is. And their other guard is supposed to be very, very good, but he hasn't even had a great preseason. So, and obviously you saw the struggles with Baker Mayfield because their O-line struggled. And everyone says, Baker Mayfield struggled that day. And I'm like, no, he did not struggle.
Yeah.
He is a good player still, just like Eli. And I've talked about this many times. That offensive line doesn't play good, and you're only going this far.
This is a 3-team race.
It is, absolutely. Cleveland's got a
division.
chance to win it all, win the division and stuff. Not win it all. I honestly don't see Cleveland winning it all by any means.
No, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, this division, the 3 teams, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore, all are going to be there at the end, and it's going to be close. It's going to, like, we're going to be counting wins at the end of the season when it comes down to these 3 teams because, I think Lamar Jackson is getting better every year. Pittsburgh is still Pittsburgh. Juju is still, a great wide receiver. Obviously, they got rid of Antonio Brown they felt good about, getting rid of Antonio Brown because of Juju Smith-Schuster. James Conner finally gets to, not look over his back to say, all right, is Le'Veon coming back this week? He's the running back. So I think he's going to take a huge step forward. Big Ben, to be honest with you, from last year and this year, I know last year he threw for 5,000 yards. I still think he struggled, though, at last year. And I feel like with Big Ben, I think he's there, just like, when it comes down to, what team was I talking about? Oh, the Jaguars, where they were like Blake Bortles. He's not on Blake Bortles' level, obviously. I'm not, like, don't twist my words with that. But I'm saying he's their downfall is Big Ben. I think everything on offense with them, I think, is really good as long as Big Ben, A, stays healthy, and B, doesn't throw picks. Like he's been having a little problem with the pick. So I feel like they can be a high-powered offense. So to be honest with you, when it comes down to these 3 teams, I think it's just going to be a crapshoot. Like it's literally going to be, a tip-off. Like, hey, throw the ball up. Who's going to get it?
Honestly,
basically.
Me personally, my view is that no doubt Cincinnati is going to be at
in last.
They're going to be Washington level and Miami level of garbage. Is the best way to put it. I tried that. You knew I was going to make you laugh with that one. But I think he's right. I think the 3 race comes down to it. I'm not a believer of Lamar Jackson yet, just on the basis that the accuracy isn't there. And one thing I've learned from watching football for a bunch of years is that you don't just learn accuracy. You either have it or you don't, and right now he does it. But he does a great job at running the football, and if his legs continue to stay healthy and barring him in any injury, and I just see him getting injured with the running quarterback. I've never been a fan of it, except for Russell Wilson. He's the only one that proved me wrong because he was so careful with it. I've never seen someone so smart at being able to be careful with it. So, when it comes down to it, I'm going to probably put Baltimore in 3rd here. It's going to be a crapshoot, like he said, I think, between Pittsburgh and Cleveland. I think Cleveland's going to win the division. I think it's legitimately only because their defense is going to be very good, if not the best division, the best defense in this division, which is crazy to say because Baltimore's defense and Pittsburgh's defense is no slouch.
Yeah.
I think Pittsburgh has enough firepower on offense to get them a couple of wins, and they're going to obviously have multiple. And we're looking, again, possibility of 2 teams making the playoffs. I mean, the AFC is going to be a tough conference this year.
Absolutely.
Between San Diego, Kansas City in one division, you got Pittsburgh and Baltimore, Cleveland in another, and then obviously the AFC, the South is going to probably find 1 team making the playoffs from there, but it's going to be hard.
Because it has to have a team.
Because the team has to go from that division,
which is sad because they're going to have a home game.
Yes,
and that was one thing that they spoke about, like maybe changing, but who knows. But that's gonna do it for our NFL and obviously
here's your preview.
The AFC preview. We're excited.
I'll see you in December with our little updates.
Week 1, starting next Thursday. Excited, hyped up for it. Again, check out RUTS Sports Twitter, Instagram. Let me know if you want to be in on this pick'em pool. And that's about it. We'll be back next week sometime, hopefully before the games. If
good.
not, we'll be recapping week 1 and previewing week 2. But that will do it for our NFL preview. I'm Jerry.
I'm Kevin.
Be breezy.
Be breezy.
And it is all over!
You've been listening to Running Up the Score. We run up the score on Sports Radio. For more Running Up the Score, go follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at RUTS Sports.